So the boys are back together. The OG Bloodline is back. And I don't know about you guys, but I felt something right here, man. It felt so good to see that, and I loved everything that I saw last night. But I'll be honest with you guys, there are some critiques I have about the storyline so far leading into Survivor Series. And don't get me wrong, it's not me coming with a whole bunch of negative stuff, because I know that us as wrestling fans and being a part of the internet wrestling community, we have a reputation of just not liking anything, bro. We don't like nothing. Okay, we'll go outside on a nice sunny day, see the sky is blue, and get mad because the sky isn't blue enough, which makes no sense at all. Now, I'm not trying to point the fingers at anyone, because I do fall into that category every once in a blue moon, but we do have people who stay in that category, and unfortunately that reputation adds on to the rest of us. But you know what? That's life. It is what it is. To each his own. But let's just talk about something that we love first. All right. I loved the beginning of the first segment of SmackDown, where Sami Zayn came out to the ring to apologize to Roman Reigns for kicking his teeth down his throat, for accidentally hitting the Claymore or the Haluva kick, whichever way you want to look at it, on Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel in front of millions of people. Now, I love that point because, for one, to have Jey Uso be the person to bring out Sami Zayn, to have him have a family meeting and try to reconcile with Roman Reigns, is crazy character development. Because remember, Jey Uso called him family on Raw, and now he brings him here to do this reconciliation. But remember, when Sami Zayn first became a member of the Bloodline, Jey Uso was the main person who did not want to accept him to be a part of it. He wanted to do everything he can to expose him and get him out of the group. And that very person is the person who's trying to get you to be accepted by everyone else. That is crazy to me. That is amazing. And Jimmy Uso on the other end, which is kind of sad, was Sami Zayn's best friend. They had a secret handshake. They were cool with each other. And now he's the person who don't want to accept him. He is more of Jey Uso at this point. But as far as the apology goes, Sami Zayn apologized to Roman Reigns and says, "I apologize for kicking you. I don't have any issues with you." And he tells Roman Reigns that, you know what? I think that you love me. I think that you love me, because we all felt something in the ring where we're all working together, and I can see it in your face. And the moment that actually, put a smile on my face was when Sami Zayn said, "Roman, see, there's something there. I can see you smirking." And it brings me back to that moment, that classic Usi moment in the Bloodline, where Sami Zayn tells them they're not Usi, and everybody breaks character. It is a genuine classic, one of the best moments in the era of the Bloodline. And it just shows us how much Sami Zayn is missing in this equation, because he brings the heart, the innocence, the love into this entire equation that is devoid of without him being there. So I love that. And he tries to get Roman to crack character. But Roman, I got to give a salute to him, because he tried everything he can to not smirk, man. He tried everything, man. I don't know how much steroids was in his cheeks or if he had bow ties, but he did not crack a smirk at all. It was there a little bit, but he fought it off. But when we had Sami Zayn tell Roman Reigns that, "I need you to apologize," and then Roman Reigns was like, "I'm not apologizing for anything." And Sami tells him, No. I need you to apologize to Jey Uso. Roman Reigns looks at Jey Uso and says, "You know what? I apologize for even coming out here and doing this. Why are we even talking to him? He's not even part of the family. He's not even blood." And that tells us something. Because even at this point, Roman Reigns has not lost that arrogance that he had as the tribal chief, even to the point where he's not even willing to apologize to Jey Uso for everything that he did to him, which is good and bad. It's good because Roman Reigns hasn't completely transitioned into some goody two-shoes soft baby face, in the sense of like Cody Rhodes. Salute to the Super Saiyan Pastor. He's not soft, but I mean in the sense of being a goody two-shoes. So I like the fact that they kept some of his character from before installed, and didn't completely get rid of that. The other thing is, the fact that he's not willing to apologize to Jey Uso, it begs the question, what needs to happen for Roman Reigns to realize what he did to these people in the past? And what is it going to take for him to apologize for Jey Uso for the things that he did in the past? That's going to be a very interesting storyline. So Sami Zayn walks out of the ring. He goes to the back because he feels insulted by what Roman Reigns has said. And again, it brings us back to when Sami Zayn would always get verbally and emotionally abused by the Bloodline, because, obviously Jey Uso and others didn't want to accept them into the group. We then saw a backstage segment where Roman Reigns is walking with Jimmy Uso on his side, And then Jey Uso walks into the frame. And this is one of the most intense moments of the night where Jey Uso is like, hey, can I get a moment of your time? Kind of like, people outside of like movie theaters, with Bibles trying to pass out things, trying to invite you to church, or people in Walmart trying to sell you internet that you already have, and then Roman Reigns try to pull the, nah, I'm gonna keep walking, I'm gonna ignore you. And then Jey Uso grabs his arm aggressively. And then everybody in the crowd, excuse me, including myself, was like, ooh. Because that is a very intense moment. Because if you know the history of the bloodline, you know what Roman Reigns did to Jimmy and Jey Uso. So imagine what he was willing to do now by him grabbing his arm. That was an intense moment. Now, Roman Reigns says, why do I need to listen to Sami Zayn? Why do I need to hear what he has to say? Why do I need to talk to him? He means nothing to us. And if you care that much about him, why don't you go out there and look for him yourself? Get out of my face. And then Jey Uso looks at him square in the eye and says, that's going to be the last time you talk to me like that. Because I told you when you do this, I'm out. Okay? That's going to be your one pass. That's going to be your one pass. And I was like, oh, man. And Jey Uso walks away. And I'm just like, you know what? That's great for Jey Uso. Because Jey Uso has been standing up for himself in front of Roman Reigns, standing up in front of himself in front of Jacob Fatu. And we saw some remnants of that in the past. When Sami Zayn said, hey, the tribal chief wants this. And Jey Uso says in the ring with Roman Reigns standing right there. This was in the past. He says, I don't care what the tribal chief has to say. So I like that they kept that part of his character, but switched it over to him being a babyface, which they're kind of doing with Roman Reigns right now as well. So we saw later on tonight, or last night on SmackDown, where they had the whole situation with the Bloodline 2.0. They were having a ceremony with Jacob Fatu, Solo, and the Gorillas of Destiny. Roman Reigns comes out, a whole brawl ensues, and by the end of the show, we see all 4 main members of the Bloodline standing up with one finger in the air, representing the Bloodline is back, which is a great moment, a great scene. I got to get a poster of that. I think it's dope. But I love all of this stuff that's happening. The issue that I have with this so far, and I guess I can kind of understand why this is happening this way, but at the same time, in the essence of the story, I feel like it just all feels extremely, extremely rushed, right? If we go back to the point of on SmackDown, to where Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso hugged together, right? You felt like they got reconciled. You felt like they were on good terms. And then we saw what happened on Monday Night Raw, where Jey Uso's like, no, we're not cool like that right now. We still got some things to work out. And for me, I felt like that was a step backwards from the story that they were telling the week before. And then now, how quickly Roman just forgives Sami Zayn and accepts him as being a part of the bloodline. How quick Jimmy Uso is okay with Sami Zayn still being there. It just seemed like all of it is completely rushed. And, the thing that made the bloodline storytelling, really good is, the pacing there. And I get it. There isn't a lot of time between the time that Roman Reigns returned and all these things they had to flush out with the Bloodline 2.0 and Cody Rhodes' involvement and all these different things. But again, it just seems like it was really, really quick. So hopefully between now and Survivor Series, they start to explain what happened. Now, we only got, 2 weeks left until Survivor Series. If they keep making them go on both brands, they got 4 opportunities to figure out how they want to kind of explain to the crowd, explain to the audience what happened, why did each member decide to come into the group, why are they accepting each other, because although they're all in this group for different reasons, Sammy's there for Jey, Jay's there to protect his brother, and so many different things, we got to explain why this situation is happening. And I think they got plenty of time to do that. And if they could do that in the next 2 weeks, I think that'll be fantastic. But right now, as it is, if the storyline they want to tell in Survivor Series is that a couple of people are at odds with each other, Jimmy with Sammy, Jey with Roman and Jimmy, all these different things, then I guess that will open up the question and make people think about going into Survivor Series. Are they going to be able to coexist with them having these odds? Although they're on the same team, although they were Bloodline members 2 years ago in Survivor Series, this time around, with them having all these differences and with the Bloodline 2.0 seem to be solid as far as the relationship with each other, how can they have the advantage and how can they win this match? And if that's the angle they want to go for, I'm completely fine with that. I still kind of want to know why everything happened, but I guess after Survivor Series is said and done, it's probably not really going to matter. But let me know in the comment section, guys. What do you guys think? Thank you guys so much for watching. Salute. Peace. Have a good